Okay, so we're going to start lying down actually this morning. So if you want to come onto your backs and have your brick or book, whatever you have with you, just next to you, just kind of in reach. Fabulous. Good. So starting with your feet on the floor, just lengthen your spine into the ground. Bring the arms out to the sides with the palms facing up to the ceiling. Just let the shoulder blades twist together slightly and slide down your back. Just create a little bit more space around your chest. Give your knees a little rock side to side if it helps your back settle into the ground. And then just finding stillness. And allow yourself to focus into your breath. Keeping the breath moving through the nose, but just observing it to reach into the lower space of the abdomen. Allowing the breath to move wide into the rib cage and into this space of your back. So you find that intra-abdominal pressure from your breath. Placing a little bit more focus onto the exhalations to pull in the abdominals and pull down the lower ribs. And just feeling that connection through the torso. And to heighten into that, focus more into the exhalation, breathing out for as long as you can. So you really start to feel the pelvic floor engage and the lower ribs really knit into the body as we squeeze out those last few drops of air. Now, if you have your brick, just take hold of that and bring it between your palms. So you've got it sort of long ways between the hands. Morning, Leslie. Good to join. We're on our back, Leslie, if you have a brick, and then bring it between the palms. Okay, so lift the block up above your head, then take a little bend into your elbows, like you're taking a turbo dog. So hug the elbows in towards each other. Feel the outer side of the shoulder blades lift up slightly, like you're trying to lift the elbows towards the ceiling, but keep the bend in them. So you're looking at your block like you're looking at a screen above you. Now take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, hinge the arms back behind you. The fingertips don't have to touch the floor. We need to focus on those lower ribs knitting down as the arms hinge back again. As you inhale, bring the arms back up above your head. And again, exhale, reach the arms back. Try and lift the elbows as the ribs pull down. Keep that going with your breath pace a few times. Starting to feel that connection between the armpits and the ribs. So we're switching on your serratus engagement. The serratus is that muscle that connects the shoulder blades into the upper back and the side ribs, giving you that feeling of wrapping the shoulder blades. Just really focusing on drawing those lower ribs into the body, abdominals pulling down to the floor. Let's take one or two more here, just feeling into that connection if we can. And then next time the arms drop back behind you, just allow your brick to place to the floor behind your head. Bring the arms back up to the ceiling. Take the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out to the sides, and just give your knees a little rock from one side to the other. Now keep the hands reaching up, palms facing each other, spread the shoulder blades open in the ground, and really send the fingertips up to the ceiling. So again, you still feel like those outer shoulders are working to keep the arms lifted. Now just come back into that focus of your breath, connecting with the core again. So as you exhale, pull the abdominals to the floor, feel the lower ribs pulling down. Try and flatten the arch of the back to the floor. Keep it going with your breath pace. Use the soles of the feet to press together to help you tuck the tailbone a little bit. Try to keep the buttocks soft. All the work is coming from the abdominals, the pelvic floor, and the feet. Whenever you next inhale and relax the breath, bring the palms to face the ceiling. So you're looking now at the back of your hands. So same thing as we've just done with the block. As you exhale, pull the ribs and the abdominals down and hinge the arms back behind you. Again, fingertips don't have to touch the floor. Just stay at the point where you feel that connection of the armpits almost feeling like they're working as the lower ribs pull down. And again, just keep that going at your breath pace. Your inhales, bring the hands back up above your head. And exhale, pull the abdominals and ribs down as the arms hinge back. Squeeze the biceps towards your ears. Taking a couple more breaths here, trying to again feel that connection from outer shoulders through the ribs and through to the lower abdomen. A couple more breaths. That's good. Now, next time the arms lift up above your head, bring the arms out to the sides. Let them drop into a cactus position, forearms dropping back to the floor. Close the right knee over to the left. And as you next inhale, open the knees back out again. As you exhale, close the left knee to the right. Inhale, open back out again. Just keep that going again with your breath pace, just finding a little bit of fluidity of movement, connecting in with the breath. Trying to keep the shoulders rooted to the floor. So we're just allowing the spine to spiral from the lower and mid back. Now, as you start coming into your twist, extend the top leg out straight. So as your right knee comes over, stretch out that right leg to kick out through the heel. Inhale still brings you through the center, and exhale to twist, and the top leg extends out to the side. Still trying to keep the shoulders grounded, just bringing in that little bit of stretch into the movements. Just let it sweep side to side. Imagine you're a can dancing. Good, couple more. And when you're about even, again, just steady yourself back to the center. Bring the knees into your chest, hugging them in towards the body. Take a little rock side to side. Stretch the right heel up towards the ceiling. Just let the left foot find the ground. Just taking a gentle hamstring stretch through this right side. So feel free to keep the ankle rolling a little bit to keep it through the calf. Any gentle rocking or swaying of the leg, if that helps, just ease the tension. Just keeping it feeling nothing too strong at the moment. Good. And then bringing that into a glute stretch. So just take the ankle to rest onto the left thigh. Thread the hands through the gap, so you hold onto that left leg. If that feels tricky to hold onto the leg, then take the same pose without the hands holding on. So hands can rest out to the side. Keep the legs as they are. If you do have the hands connected, let's actually just release them and interlace your hands around to the back of the head. So we take 4 breaths to work into the core in this same connection of the legs. So as you inhale, you're going to reach the legs away from you. Think that left leg is trying to straighten out, heel reaching away. As you exhale, bring that connection back in towards your body. Lift the head and shoulders up to curl in towards your shin. Let the tailbone try and curl up away from the floor. As you inhale, lengthen everything back out again. Exhale fully as you curl everything back in. Elbows to shin, curl the tailbone up. 2 more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, curling in. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, curling in. Take both feet to the floor, head to the ground, just untangle the legs. Take a little rock of the knees side to side before we switch sides. So then bring that left knee in towards your chest and extend the heel to the ceiling, hands around the back of the thigh, finding that gentle hamstring stretch. So again, giving any swaying or rolling of the ankle or the leg. Take a couple of breaths, still consciously breathing. Take the ankle to the thigh, taking a couple of breaths into the stretch of this figure of 4. So maybe hands are threaded through if that feels comfortable. Keep the tailbone trying to lengthen into the ground. Just bring yourself into that peak feeling of stretch. And take a deeper breath where you are. And then let's release the hands to interlace around the back of the head again, taking those 4 breaths into that core work. So as you inhale, lengthen that connection of the legs away. As you exhale, bring the legs in, hug the elbows up towards ankle and knee. Good. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, scooping in. Tailbone lifts up. Good. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, scooping in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, scooping in. Good. Untangle the legs, both feet to the floor. And again, just give the knees a little rock one side to the other, just to soften out the back. Scoop the knees in towards your chest. And from here, let's take a rock and roll through to seated. And we're coming straight over to all fours. Maybe rolling over the knees or bring yourself around, however feels best. Spread the palms open nice and wide into the ground. Get that stretch through the hands. And then just rocking the shoulders forwards, backwards, just warming up into the wrists, into the hands a little bit. So any gentle circling, just transferring your weight around the hands, acknowledging each fingertip. Good. And then taking a few cat-cow, let some movement come into your back. Good. And you guys all know your bodies pretty well. So bring any other movement to your body right now that feels good. If you want to rock it side to side or circling the hips, anything that feels right to do on a Sunday morning, other than go back to bed. Good. Just take my necklace off. I keep banging in my microphone. Okay, from here, let's bring the elbows down to the ground. So just checking the elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. So just try wrapping the hands. You should be able to hold onto biceps or triceps and then keep the elbows where they are and re-pivot the arms back out to parallel. Palms still spread wide and into the ground. Press into the forearms so shoulder blades broaden out. Tuck the toes. We're coming into Dolphin. So as you exhale, lift the hips and the knees up towards the ceiling. And just holding here for a few breaths, just feeling into the strength and support of the shoulders. And again, that feeling like we did when we were lying on our back just now, the connection of your serratus, that outer shoulder blade, in with the lower ribs knitting in and the lower abdominals knitting in. So find your breath pace, using those exhales to really push the floor away and pull the lower ribs into the body. Let the neck stay relaxed, the jaw is relaxed. Good. There can still absolutely be a little bend in the knees. Try and feel the elevation of the spine. Good. Take one more deep breath where you are. Looks great. As you exhale, gently bring the knees down to the floor. Just take either a child's pose or a kneeling. Just take the weight off your shoulders for a couple of breaths. Good. On the next variation of Dolphin, we're going to find a little bit of rocking with it as well. So we're going to set the arms back up exactly the same, lifting up the hips. Take your feet back just a little bit further. So you're a little bit in a longer Dolphin position. As you inhale, your nose is going to rock forwards towards your thumbs. And as you exhale, pull those lower ribs and lower belly in as you rock back into that Dolphin lift. Again, keep this going with your breath face. Exhales, pull the ribs in to lift the hips high. Keep it going. Feel those lower abdominals knitting in. Good, really nice. Take 2 more if you can. Lovely. Slowly bring the knees to the floor when you're done, either a child's pose or a kneeling, whatever takes the weight off your shoulders for a moment. Take a deeper breath, give the shoulders a little roll out if you want to. Take a slower, deeper breath. Lovely. From here, we're coming back onto the forearms. We're going to come into a supported side plank. So your right forearm is going to turn on a diagonal. So your center finger faces the corner of the mat. Send the legs back behind you and turning onto the outer edges of the feet. Your left leg is going to come over in front. So the sole of the foot is on the floor in front of you. So pressing into that left foot just as much as you are into the elbow. So feel like the glutes are working here. So this left leg is holding some support for you. Reach up through that left hand as high as you can. Feel like all of your limbs are working actively. Good. Now, as you exhale, let the hips sink down towards the floor a little bit. So your outer hip just taps the ground. So take a breath in here. Then as you exhale, reach up to the ceiling, lift that hip away from the ground as high as it can go. Inhale, let the hip drop down a little. And as you exhale, squeeze in the waistline, lift the hip back up. Take 2 more. Inhale to drop the hip, just tap the floor, and exhale, squeezing up. 1 more. Inhale, tap the floor. And exhale, squeezing up. Lovely. Come back into your forearm plank, both forearms to the floor, step back, switch the arms. So left forearm on a diagonal, right arm reaching high, right foot steps over. Just take a couple of breaths here in stillness, just feeling into the activation of all of your limbs. Feeling like that supporting arm, the shoulder blade is connected into the back. Good. As you breathe in, left bum cheek just kisses the mat, and exhale, squeeze up the hips. 3 more. Inhale to lower. Exhale, waistline squeezes you up. Inhale. Exhale, pressing up. Inhale. Exhale, pressing up. Both forearms to the floor. Step back into your forearm plank position. Good. Knees can drop to the floor here if we need a little bit more support, but keep that lower belly really pulling in. If you've got the knees on the ground, just staying steady, keep pushing the floor away through those forearms. If your knees are lifted, use just your feet to rock the shoulders forwards and back a few times. So think just the heels rocking forwards and backwards. Good. Susan, keep the hips nice and low. Use that strength of the core. Good. Hips stay low, just shoulders forwards, back. Good. Oh, that's it. Last couple. Only 10 minutes in. Good. And then bring the knees to the ground. Walk the hands back so we come into a child's pose. Take the knees a little bit wider than the body, just folding all the way back. Good. Take 3 slow breaths here. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. Good. Bring yourself back into an all fours position. Tuck the toes. Let's come into a downward facing dog, hips lifting up high. Paddle out your feet. Get that stretch coming through the backs of the legs a little more. Keep the palms spread nice and wide. Still feeling that strength and support from the shoulders so that the neck can relax. Good. Now find stillness in your downward dog. There can absolutely still be a bend in the knees if it helps you keep that tailbone lifted. Now try and feel into that breath again. So as you exhale, you feel the outer armpits switched on, lower ribs pull in, lower belly pull in. So really squeezing out the breath. Take 1 more deep breath where you are. That looks great. Well done. Start walking the feet up towards your hands. Come to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Hands can float up whenever they need to. Just maybe holding onto elbows or round to the back of the legs. Just find some looseness through your body. Any rocking or swaying that feels good, let that come in. And then allow the arms to dangle. Take a deep breath in the fold. And as you exhale, use the abdominals to press you up to standing. Roll through the spine, slinky back, and roll the shoulders down when you get there. Lovely. If you aren't there already, take a step forwards. Feet can either be hips distance or big toes touching, or take a few rounds of sun A. So starting Samasthiti, nice and tall, active through the hands, fingertips spread open, and have a sense of lifting from the crown of the head, like a puppet on a string, lengthening up through the spine, allowing the rest of the body just to soften down away from it. Just acknowledge the breath coming into the core, that full intra-abdominal pressure from the breath. Whenever you next inhale, lift the hands around and up to the ceiling, bring the gaze to your thumbs. As you exhale, come all the way through to forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen the chest forwards. Exhale, step the right leg followed by the left leg to plank position. Holding there, take a breath in. Exhale, half chaturanga, knees and chest to the ground, elbows squeeze into the ribcage. Inhale, take a gentle cobra, shoulders drawing back and down from the ears. Use the exhale to travel you all the way back into your downward facing dog. Taking 2 deep breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale, spread the palms, soften the neck. Inhale for 2. Exhale, feel those lower ribs knitting into the body. Bring the gaze to the hands, bend the knees, step or jump the feet up to the hands. Take a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale as you rise, come all the way to standing, arms lifting, coming straight into our second round. So exhale again to refold. Halfway lift lengthens the chest forwards. Exhale, step left foot followed by right foot to plank position. Holding plank, push the floor away. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, half or full chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, maybe an up dog. Shoulders stay down and back. Exhale all the way into your downward facing dog. Taking 2 long breaths. Fully inhale. Exhale, find the connection. Fully inhale. Exhale, find your space. Bring the gaze to the hands, bend the knees, step or jump to the top of the mat. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, fold into the legs. Inhale as you rise, bring the arms around and up. Come straight into third round of Sun A. Exhale to fold, just warming up the body. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale all the way to your chaturanga. You can step or jump, keep lowering down. Lovely. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Fully inhale for 1. Exhale. Inhaling 2. Exhale. Gaze to hands, bend the knees, stepping or jumping, find the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold into legs. Inhaling as you rise, bring the hands up above the head, keep them lifted. Interlace the fingers together, index fingers pointing up to the ceiling. Now reach the hands up. Keep the fingers interlaced, but have a sense that they are trying to pull apart from each other. Now feel back into the breath again. So this pulling apart of the hands should feel, I'm going to turn just to face you, should feel a little bit more connection through this width of your back. Again, those armpits feeling like they're working a little bit more. Feel into that same connection of the outer armpits, the ribs, and the lower abdominals. So nice strong exhales to pull all of that in and feel the connection. Now, whenever you next exhale, again, hinge the body over to the right. Try and keep the hands interlaced but pulling apart, the ribs pulling in. As you inhale, lift up through the center, and exhale, hinge over to the left. Keep the strength. Good. One more time either side. Inhale through the middle. Exhale, hinge to the right. Inhale through the middle. Exhale to the left. Lovely. Inhale through the center. Let's come back into a forward fold, releasing the arms down. Halfway lift lengthens you. Exhale to your chaturanga, stepping or jumping. Come all the way down. Good. Inhale, lift the chest up, shoulders back and down. Exhale, back into your downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Now bend the knee, open the hips. So think that kneecap lifting up to the ceiling. And imagine now your right kneecap is going to draw a figure of 8. So you're going to circle the knee slightly over towards the right, and then it's going to come underneath you towards the left elbow, towards the right elbow, and then lift it back up again, left and right at the top. So now don't overthink it too much. Just let the movement feel quite fluid. You're lifting up the knee and under. So just keep it going a few rounds. You're exhaling as the knee comes underneath, and you inhale as the knee is lifted. Take a couple more times, keeping lower belly pulling in on the exhales. Good. Now, next time the leg comes underneath, you're going to step the foot through to between the hands, finding a low lunge. So place the foot down, place the back knee to the floor. As you inhale, bring the arms up to the ceiling, And as you exhale, cactus arms, so elbows out in line with shoulders, palms forwards. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, feel the chest open. And as you exhale, bring the forearms around to touch in front. Lower ribs pull in like you're trying to curve the spine towards the wall behind you. Inhale, chest opens, gentle back bend if you like. Exhale, fold the forearms together, tuck the tailbone, feel the stretch around the left hip. Inhale to open. Exhale, squeezing in. 2 more, inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Reach the hands up to the ceiling, take a deep breath in. Exhale to your downward dog with or without a vinyasa. So flow it through if you want to, otherwise we'll all meet at downward dog in a mo. Good job. Holding it down dog, just take a breath. Lift the left leg up, take a deep breath in. Now bend that knee, open the hips. I think heels squeezing back towards the right buttock. Now let this knee start to find that figure of 8 motion. So as it comes underneath, it's going to head towards the right elbow, then to the left, and then lift it back up and sweep it over. Good, now don't overthink it, just keep the leg kind of rolling through, like you're just rolling out the hip. Exhale as it comes underneath. Yes, lovely, good. Couple more. Next time the knee comes underneath you, step the foot down between the hands, finding a low lunge. Good, back knee to the ground, arms lifting up. Exactly the same arms. So exhale, arms come into cactus. Feel the engagement of serratus. So in cactus, feel the elbows nudge forwards and the back of the hands reach back. So you feel again this connection under the armpits. Inhale, open the chest, maybe feeling a little bit more space here second time round. Exhale, forearms come to touch, rounding the spine to the wall behind you. Inhale as you open. Exhale, squeezing together, ribs pulling in. Inhale to open. Exhale. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. Now lift the hands up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale to downward dog with or without your vinyasa. Taking your time, work with the breath, with the movements. Let everything feel fluid. Good. Holding it downward dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a sigh through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and sigh through the mouth. Bring the gaze to your hands, bend the knees. Step or jump the feet to the top of the mats. Take a halfway lift as you inhale and exhale, soften into the legs. Bring the big toes to touch. Take a deep bend in the knees, coming into chair pose, arms lifting. Good. Sink the hips down towards the heels so toes feel light. Unscrunch your toes. Now wrap the shoulders again, so perhaps palms face the wall behind you, so you feel the shoulder blades drop down and broaden out. Good. Again, feel this connection of the breath pulling in that ribs and lower belly. Those corset muscles around the waist. Good. Take a really deep breath in. That's lovely. Exhale, finding your forward fold, straightening up the legs as you come down. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, either coming through the vinyasa or just pausing it downward dog. Come through any way you like, stepping or jumping. We'll meet back at down dog. So coming through sun B. So when you're at down dog, inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step through to between the hands. We find warrior one. So back heel to the floor and reaching the arms up. Let's pause here in this first round. Sinking into that front knee. Hips and shoulders are trying to face front. Again, lower ribs pulling in. Push the feet apart from each other. Soften the shoulders. Take a really deep breath in. Exhale, down dog with or without vinyasa. So take it any way you like. Really nice. Good. It's really nice to see you all taking different variations of chaturangas and things. It's really lovely to honor your body with that. On your inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, stepping through to between the hands. Turn that back foot to the floor and lifting the arms up. Again, pausing here. Feet press apart from each other. Sink into that front knee. Hips and shoulders front. Soften the shoulders. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, down dog with or without your vinyasa. Any variations you like. Really nice. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Gaze to hands, bend the knees, step or jump the feet to the top of the mats. Big toes are touching, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold into the legs. Taking a deep bend in the knees, come into chair pose. Softening here. Okay, close those lower ribs in. Susan, try sitting up into it a little bit so it's less of a gym squat. Pull the lower ribs in. Good. Take another deep breath in, lift the gaze. Exhale, come into forward fold. Nice. Halfway lift, inhale. Again, either through this vinyasa or pausing it downward dog. Take it at your own pace. Elbows hugging into the ribs on these chaturangas. Melissa, keep the elbows strong. Good. Nice. Right leg lifts up, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step through to between the hands, back heel to the floor. Come into warrior one, holding here, arms lifting again, finding that same mudra we did earlier. So index fingers pointing up as the other fingers interlace. Kali mudra, we call this. So as you inhale, straighten the front leg. Feel like you're pushing through the heel of the foot. Exhale, sink back into that front knee. Let the hips travel forwards. Good. Inhale again, straightening up. Exhale, sinking in, ribs pulling in. Couple more times. Inhale to lift. Keep the arms trying to pull apart. Exhale. Last one. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Now re-straighten that front leg again. As you exhale, keep the legs straight and strong. The arms are going to release to the sides as your body hinges forwards. Think crown of the head lengthening away. Inhale, pick the body back up straight again. Arms lifting up to the ceiling. Exhale, hinging forwards, arms to the sides. It doesn't have to move very much with the upper body. If that feels safer for your back, keep the movement small. Keep it going a couple more times. Exhale, pulls ribs and belly in. Inhale as you lift. Good. Next time you hinge forwards, holding there, let the hands come to the ground, either side of your front foot. Absolutely take a little bend into the knee there if that helps you find the floor. We're aiming for 2 straight legs, so it doesn't matter if that front leg has a bend. Allow your forehead to soften towards the front shins. You get a nice deep stretch through that front leg. Just try and nudge your right sit bone back behind you a little bit further. So you might feel a little bit more depth into the lengthening. Yes, Susan, that's it, into that hammy. Good. Unscrunch your faces a little bit, soften. Okay, take a deep breath in. Now bend into that front knee, come back into a lunge, into your downward dog with or without a vinyasa. Take it as you wish to. Any variations, elbows squeezing in. Good. Fantastic. Good. Lifting the left leg high, take a breath in. Exhale, step through to between the hands, finding warrior one. Arms lifting up, just holding here. Kali mudra, so index fingers pointing up, interlace the fingers. Keep the hands interlaced, but have that feeling of trying to pull them apart so you connect in with that strength. Now inhale, straightens the front leg, push through the front heel. Exhale, sinking back in, hips come forwards. You find that lunging first. Inhale, straighten up. Exhale, sinking forwards. Good, keep it going, couple more times. Good, Ali, drop the tailbone as the ribs pull in as you come into that lunge. Good, one more, inhale, lift. Exhale, sinking. Nice. Now straighten up that front leg again. Keep the legs pulling up nice and strong. Release the fingers. Exhale hinges you forward to that flat back. Actively reach the hands back behind you. Inhale, lifting everything back high again. Exhale, hinging forwards, reach forwards through crown of the head. Good, couple more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bring the arms through the sides and back. Good, inhale to lift. Really nice. Exhale, forwards, holding there. Now keep the crown of the head lengthening forwards. Let the fingertips drop down either side of the front foot, folding into that pyramid pose. So forehead softens to shin. Again, as much bend into this front leg as you need. If the legs are straight, then think about really pulling up through the quads and nudge that left sit bone back behind you a little bit more so you feel the pelvis square out and that stretch squeeze in. Good, soften where you can. Take a deeper breath. Good. Take a little bend into the front knee, plant the hands to the floor, downward dog with or without vinyasa. Keep those elbows squeezing in on your chaturanga. Good, shoulders back on your up dogs. Lovely. When you're at your downward dog, take a really deep breath in and a full breath out. Wrap the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Gaze to hands, bend the knees, stepping or jumping, find the top of the mat. Big toes are touching, take a halfway lift. Exhale, soften to legs. A deep bend in the knees, come into your chair pose, arms high, weight is in the heels of the feet, ribs pulling in, tailbone dropping down, Susan. Yeah, good. Take another breath in, lift the gaze. Exhale, come into forward fold, straighten up the legs. Lovely. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, downward dog with or without vinyasa. We take the sun B with variation again. Good. Okay, nice. Inhale, right leg lifting high. Exhale, stepping through, finding warrior one. Arms lifting, good. So similar to how we did earlier, you're gonna straighten up the front leg, take a deep breath in, hinge the arms to your sides, come forwards and into warrior three. So as you keep reaching back through the arms, take a little spring into that front knee again, but take the weight forwards into the front foot. Finding the floating of the back leg. Good, keep the palms facing your body. That's it, but have a sense of the shoulder blades squeezing towards each other slightly. Now imagine the crown of your head is being pulled forwards and the heel of your back foot is being pulled back. Really stretching yourself out, really nice, good. Fingertips find the floor, we come into a standing split. So your floating toes are gonna reach as high as they can go to the ceiling. Good, your standing split is your split of your legs. It doesn't have to be a split. Good. Now, if you're feeling steady, see if your right hand can grab hold of the back of your supporting calf muscle. Right hand around to the back of the ankle or calf. Yeah, good. And then if you have that, use it to encourage the body closer to the supporting leg, which is going to help your floating foot tip up a little bit higher. Good. Or just watching, Leslie, it's all good. You can keep looking. Wobbling is allowed. That's it. Release the hand if you're holding on the calf muscle. Take the left foot back down to the floor behind you. You're coming into runner's lunge. So left foot down to the back of the mat. Lift the hands up to the ceiling. Take a big breath in. Now keep the back heel lifted. Just dip into the back knee, feeling into the little stretch around the front of the left hip. Good. Straighten up the front leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor, come back into your pyramid pose. The only difference is this time the back heel is lifted up. It's a little bit longer through the legs. Forehead to shin, you might find that a little bit easier or a little bit stronger. Good, again, see if that right sit bone can just nudge back behind you. So left hip forwards, right hip back. Square up the pelvis. Good. Stepping back to downward dog with or without vinyasa. Again, really well done for honoring. If you want to skip a vinyasa every now and then, that's absolutely the right thing to do. Good. Nice. Take a deep breath. Lift the left leg high, take a deep breath in. Exhale, step through to between the hands, coming into warrior one, arms lifting. Now take your deep breath in to straighten the front leg. Exhale, arms to the side, spring off that front leg into warrior three, like you're taking off from the floor for flight. Good. So strong through your supporting glutes, squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit. Keep the gaze towards the floor, Leslie. Just lengthen the back of the neck a little bit. Good. Nice. Theo, squeeze the shoulder blades together a bit more. Open the chest. Yes, strong through every limb. Feel strong and active. Lovely, Julie and Ali. Good. Fingertips to the floor. Lift the toes high. Standing split. Maybe still that little bend in the knee. Again, just splitting your legs as far as they will go. Nice. Perhaps if you're feeling steady, try left hand around the back of the leg, using that to draw yourself in. So the floating toes reach up. Make sure you're breathing. Good stuff. Nice. Slowly take the right toes back down to the back of the mat. So you're holding that longer pyramid pose. So straighten up the front leg as much as it feels comfortable to. Forehead softening to the shin. Square up the pelvis, so left hip nudges back, right hip nudges forwards. Soften where you can. Good. And we come back to down dog with or without vinyasa. Good. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, either in down dog or child's pose, you decide. So we inhale for 1. Exhale, find space in the shoulders. Inhale 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. Okay, bring the knees to the floor. Let's all find a child's pose, hinging back to heels. Arms wherever the shoulders feel more comfortable to be. Now, staying in your kneeling position, just fold back into the heels. We can be sat on the feet or in a higher kneeling position. As we did when you were standing, bring the arms above your head, finding that Kali Mudra again to interlace the fingers, index fingers pointing up. Just feeling the ribs pulling in as you exhale. So we're just reminding the body to keep that connection. As you next exhale, reach the body over to the right. Feel the opening around left side. Inhale, lifting up through the middle. Exhale, hinging over to the left. Inhale through the middle. Once more either side, to the right. Inhale. And to the left. Good. Inhale. Release the hands. Just give the shoulders a little roll out or the wrists a little roll. Anything you need to do just to give ourselves a moment for this last flow. So bring the hands back forwards, coming into your downward facing dog. I'm going to lift the right leg up to the ceiling and step it through to between the hands to again come into your warrior one. So arms lifting up as you breathe in. Warrior one. So as you exhale, come into warrior two. So you're going to spiral the whole body round to the long side of the mat. Your left hand, back of hand is going to wrap around the lower back. Right arm lifts up to the ceiling. Hinging over to reverse the warrior, switch the arms, Sarah. So left arm behind you, right arm reaching over. That's it. Now sink deeper into that right knee. Feel the space opening around right ribs. Good. Now the hand that's wrapped behind you, see if your fingertips can almost press into the thigh of that right leg. That's it, Susan. So you can push the fingers in to help you tip back a little bit further if that meets. If it doesn't meet, don't worry about it. Good, now keep the back arm wrapped. Just bring your torso back up straight and then right forearm to that front thigh to lean into the front leg. Keep the back arm wrapped, that's it. So using the wrapped arm to open the chest. Imagine the breastbone is trying to spiral up towards the ceiling slightly, but keep the neck feeling soft. Even let it completely drop if you feel balanced. Good, now bring your focus back into that connection of the lower ribs again. So as you exhale, ribs tuck in, lengthen the lower back, just slightly feeling the tuck of the tailbone. Bring your torso back up straight again as you breathe in. Keep the back arm wrapped if shoulders comfortable there. Your right arm is just going to reach directly out to your in front of you. Straighten up the front leg, take a deep breath in and coming into Trikonasana, reaching forwards and hinging, back arm stays wrapped if shoulders comfortable there. Good, so same as we just did in that warrior two lunge, keep the chest trying to spiral up to the ceiling. Good, neck stays soft, so perhaps gaze is to the floor or directly out in front of you, whatever neck feels best. Good, come back to the connection of your breath into the torso. Flatten yourself out as much as you can. Good, use more core, so you're resting less into that underneath hand. See if your hand can just float off your ankle for a moment. Yeah, good. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, fold into that front leg. So again, you come back into pyramid and your back foot this time is wherever you want it to be. So maybe the heel stays anchored to the floor or you can come onto the tiptoes, wherever you want it to be. Again, just feeling into the stretch of that front leg. Maybe this time round, feeling that a little bit more space into the muscle. Good. Now this time, unless you really want to, just come straight back into your downward dog. Good, just taking a breath, maybe a little paddling through the feet. Lift the left leg high, take a breath in. Exhale, step through to between the hands, coming into warrior one, arms lifting up. As you exhale, come into warrior two, turning long ways to the mats. So your right hand now is going to wrap around lower back, so fingertips perhaps resting into the crease of the hip. Left arm lifts to the ceiling and continue to reach back to reverse your warrior. Taking a couple of breaths here, again, feeling lower ribs pulling in, opening the space around left side of ribs. Whenever you inhale, bring yourself back up straight, keep the right arm wrapped, and forearm to the leg at the front, so hinging forwards into it, reaching out through the crown of the head. Think breastbone turning up towards the ceiling a little more to feel a little more flattening of the body. Good. Check that the neck feels comfortable. Good. See if that top shoulder can pull back a little bit further and then let the head feel a little bit heavier. You might get the stretch through the side of the neck there as well. Connect back in with the breath. And gently bring your torso back up straight again. Keep the right arm wrapped still if that's okay with shoulder. Left arm reaches out in front of you as we prepare for Trikonasana. So straighten up the front leg, take a breath in. Exhale, reach forwards and then hinging. So just resting lightly into the shin or inner ankle or brick. Good. And still trying to flatten yourself out. So reach that top shoulder back so the chest leans back slightly. Core is still really switching on here. So again, light through that underneath hand. Legs feeling both as active as each other. Lovely. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we come into pyramid of any placement of your back foot. Wherever the body feels good. So folding into that front leg. So straightening up through that left leg if you can, Susan, straighten up a bit. Good. Soften the neck, deepen the breath. Good. And stepping back into your downward facing dog. Take a deeper breath, feet have a little paddle or hips to wiggle. So from here, if we can, we're going to jump through to seated or bring the legs through, however feels good to get there. So if you're jumping through, cross the ankles as you sit down. Keep the legs out in front. Okay, so staying seated, both feet to the floor in front of you. Reach the arms forwards, just tip your weight back slightly, but keep the arms reaching out, and then peel the toes away from the floor, so shins parallel with the ground. If you want a little bit more support, you take the fingers just to the back of the knees, so you can keep your chest upright a little bit, or toes to the ground. We're still just switching on the core here. Good. Nice, so try and reach your breastbone further up, soften through the neck a little bit if we can. It's coming from the core, not the neck. Yes, good. Now cross one ankle over the other. If you can, keep the heels off the floor. Your hands come to the ground just enough to lift your sit bones for a moment away from the ground. It might just be a little millimeter of lift. If we need to, heels give you a little bit of help. So heels to the floor, lift the hips. Come back into Navasana. So shins parallel with the floor, arms reaching out. Take 2 full breaths, inhale. Exhale, ninjas, you can straighten up the legs if you want to. 2. Good, cross the ankles, hands to floor, maybe heels, give you that little bit of help. Lift the hips, whoop, and down. Good, 3rd round. Don't worry if it doesn't happen. Reach the arms out, turn the palms to face the ceiling, so still shoulders feel soft. Straighten the legs this time if we can. Ali Pa, show me your toes in the screen, lift them up. Yes, there they are, good. And Julie, come on, hold them. One more breath. Let go of the legs. Good, cross the ankles, yes, well done. Hands to floor, lift the hips, last time. And down, good, uncross the feet so the feet are to the floor again. Just let the hands rest back behind you and give the knees a little rock side to side, soften out your back, well done. Worst bit of the class done. Good. Now straighten the legs out in front of you and just find a fold over the legs. So a little bend in the knees if you know that's more comfortable for your back. Just finding release. Soften any sense of forcing from the shoulders. Doesn't matter where you get to. This is just to ease out now. Slow down the breath. Now slowly roll yourself back up straight again. Bring the hands to the floor next to your hips, hands to the ground. Rebend your knees again so your feet are on the floor. Now, a couple of you I know have got a couple of little shoulder niggles going on. So taking this movement quite small if you know shoulders are feeling a bit tricky for you. So you're going to lift the hips up away from the floor. Again, if shoulders are tricky, just keep the hips fairly low. If you can, you're coming into more of a tabletop, pressing the hips up. So it's a bit of a stronger rotation for shoulders. As you exhale, sweep the hips back through the wrists. So you come back into a little lean forwards of a fold. You're going to take this at your own pace because we'll all move a bit differently through it. So you'll inhale as you reach the knees forwards and hips up. And exhale as you sweep the hips through the wrists and lean forwards towards the shins. Good, keep it going, take a couple more. Lovely, good variations, well done. Last one. Next time you're in your fold, again, just releasing over into it. Give the wrists a roll out as well, or the neck a little roll out, anything you need to do to soften. Gently start to roll yourself back up straight again. Make sure your hips are in the middle of your mat so you can roll straight through to lie down, bringing the knees in towards your chest once you get there. Take a little rock side to side on your back. And then let the feet find the ground. Arms open out to the sides of you into a bit of a T shape. Keep the knees towards the left side of the mat a little, and let the knees drop over towards the right. So you just land in a twist, adjusting anything that you need to make yourself feel comfortable here. So again, just bringing a sense of ease to the body now. And so acknowledging the breath in the abdomen, that full IAP, intra-abdominal pressure from your breath. Whenever it feels right to you, bring the knees up through the center. Just take your pelvis slightly over towards the right of your mat. Drop the knees down to the left. Again, adjusting anything into any variation of a twist that feels like it brings you some ease and softening. And when it feels right to you, bring the knees to center, hips back into the middle of the mat. Take any other postures that you feel you need to do to get comfortable, and then bring yourself into any variation of a Shavasana. So that can be with feet on the floor or legs reaching out flat, wherever you want to be. Bring the arms either to the sides of the body, the chest feels open, or resting onto the lower torso. Whenever you feel settled and grounded, just take a slower, fuller breath. And now with each breath you take, allow the breath to feel softer and more effortless. Allow your breath to become quiet. Allow there to be a moment of pausing between the inhale and exhale. And if you have the time today, then you're very welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as it feels good to you. If you're ready to bring yourself out of your practice, then take your time to bring yourself to seated in any way that feels best. Just keeping the eyes closed once you're upright. Just recognizing that sense of energy in the body that you've stimulated and circulated this morning. Bring the hands to the heart center, so your thumbs rest against the chest space to lift your chest a little bit higher, a little bit prouder. Just taking a fuller, deeper breath in. As you exhale, bowing your head to your hands and to your wonderful selves for being here on a Sunday morning. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Namaste. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Stay warm. Thank you.